Now there's various ways you can measure your Vo2 Max. I mean, probably the most accurate way. Hello. Right, you've been part of this or what? Are you in or out? Are you in or out? In or out? Come on. You bless fucking dog. You might have seen my story on Facebook and Instagram yesterday, in which I didn't look too happy with my Vo2 Max score, which put me in a bracket of good to excellent for a man of my age. Now, if you don't know what Vo2 Max is, and you're unlikely to unless you're already involved in the fitness industry or you're a pro athlete, so Vo2 Max basically it's a score that will determine your aerobic capacity. Just check the efficiency of your heart and your lungs. And it's a very important score for me to keep track of, especially with my clients, because my biggest niche is that kind of fat loss, general health, and longevity of life. So if you've got a nice healthy cardiovascular system, then that will obviously kind of help you with your general fitness and obviously your longevity of life. So why am I so down on my Vo2 Max? Is it really that bad? Well, no, but it could be better. Now, there's various ways you can measure your Vo2 Max. So probably the most accurate way would be in a lab. You'd need to book into somewhere that's special equipped to do it. And use like machinery. You'll have a mask on. You'll be on either a treadmill or a bike. And the mask and machine is just basically designed to measure like your output. As you're breathing in and out during the exercise. Another way is like a Rockport walking test, where effectively what you'll probably can experience this with a trainer at some point, where you'll be put on a treadmill, you'll walk as fast as you can for 1 mile or 1.6 kilometres, and then at the end of that, your time will be taken, the time it took you to do it, your heart rate, and then there's a formula we can input to then calculate your Vo2 max. So, but with me, I just use my Fitbit. So if you use like a Fitbit or a fitness tracker, I know certainly Fitbit do this, it'll basically kind of measure your heart rate around the clock, and I wear mine in bed as well, so for best results, you just wear it kind of basically throughout your day, even when you're in bed. What it'll do is it'll take your resting heart rate, and it'll calculate what your VO2 max is, based on those parameters. So with Fitbit and with most trackers, I think the Apple Watch and that have it as well. It'll come along with an app, and in this app, if you open it up into Fitbit and go down to where your heart rate is, you tap on heart rate, and then it'll say see how fit you are. If you just scroll to the right, it'll come up with your VO2 max. So my VO2 max is usually between 49 to 51, which will show you is very good to excellent for a man of my age. And here you can see the graphic here that just kind of shows you that on the table, which I usually use when I'm using the Rockport walking test. As you can see, I'm like very good to excellent. Is that pre-COVID? I mean, I was usually like well above the 51, so I was always in the kind of excellent category. And since lockdown, I kind of quite quickly ended up, my fitness levels dropped dramatically. Even before I had COVID, I felt like it was like kind of getting difficult to breathe. I was coughing a lot, and I just felt as if I was getting loads of kind of chest infections, and my breathing wasn't great. Ended up having to go back on inhalers, and what I blamed for that was obviously like the first kind of year of lockdown. Spent most of the time in the house, and I was in with my wee dog kind of all day. Well, most of the day while I was working on the online side of my business. So with that, I just felt as if maybe the dog had been interfering with my lungs, and it kind of given me some kind of issues. Ended up with COVID twice, and ever since then I've just not been able to get my fitness back up to what it was. And I really struggled cardio wise anytime I did a bit of cardio. I mean, even a 10-minute warm up, I was just really struggling to breathe. I'd noticed obviously that I'd kind of lost a lot of strength and some muscle mass, so I just spent the last kind of best part of this year just trying to kind of regain some strength, and like try and build a wee bit more kind of muscle, while I was struggling with my lungs. But good news is that seems to have got much better. So this past few weeks, I've totally been hammering the CV, trying to get that Vo2 Max back up, and I can see that it's still sitting where it was kind of for most of the year. Where I'm not getting above that kind of that 51. Getting into that excellent category. But when I gave it some thought, I was like, well, when I think about what I did before lockdown, I mean, I was training at least 3 times in the week. I was training anywhere between 2 to 4 times in a day. And then towards the end of the week, I'd tail it off and maybe train once for the last couple of days, and also have the rest day. And to train at that level, because I was taking classes as well, and that was part of my kind of CV. So to train at that level, to go for that to doing not even half of that, it's obviously had an impact on my VO2 Max, which shows that we are measuring, through your fitness tracker works, because you don't put that work in, you see an effect. So it just makes me now appreciate just how hard it is to improve your VO2 Max. And what the reason why I'm telling you, so why am I telling you all this? So it's basically because, if I'm working with my clients, that's one of my kind of key performance indicators, or KPIs, is to try and make sure I improve people's VO2 max, even if it's not an initial goal, a primary goal. I always try and make it a secondary goal, or maybe like maybe a third goal, because it is important obviously to make sure you've got good cardiovascular health. So how am I going to improve my VO2 max? Well, you may have seen from my social media stories on Instagram and Facebook that we have these little babies in. So this is an upgrade to the skill bikes that we've already got in the Waterfront gym. So these are the Techno Gym bikes. You can see they're fully interactive with the big screens there. We've got instructor-led sessions, which I have had a go at yesterday. It's also got the Ruby option on there as well, with so many different features on it. You can see from extracts of my boomerangs here, I've been enjoying my session on that. So, obviously you can go in for these programs. I did a 45-minute one yesterday. Again, this is just kind of details of my results. So there's also my kind of heart rate throughout the session. Right, so I've set myself a wee challenge of between now, this week that we've got the new bikes in. I'm going to do at least 3 sessions a week on these bikes in the gym floor. At least 45 minutes on each one. Possibly try some of the ones that are an hour as well. So this is the instructor-led sessions. which I hope to get kind of ideas to run into my skill bike class as well, because it's good to see other instructors approach to how they deliver the classes. So I'm going to do 3 of those a week. I'll maybe even try the review option as well, because there's some like kind of cool features in there, and you can kind of interact with other riders and things. And I'll also do my 45-minute skill bike class on the bike, as I have done the past couple of Sundays. So I've got a Sunday morning skill bike class, which will teach on the bike. So you're talking about at least 4 sessions a week on the bikes, and just really try and raise my cardiovascular game. So what I'll do is I will run this plan up till Christmas, and we'll see if I can before Christmas get that Vo2 Max up to excellent, a good steady excellent. So my resting heart rate as well should come down. I mean, at my fittest before COVID again, I was running about, like, my resting heart rate was 50, and it never really kind of went above 53, which was good. And I remember having to get into hospital for a leg infection, cellulitis. And I remember the doctor and the nurses and the doctors in the hotel just commenting on how fit I was with my resting heart rate, and obviously knew, I had an active job. And it was a nice feeling, just to know that that's how kind of healthy and how fit I was. I'm still not that far away. I mean, my resting heart rate is anywhere between like maybe 53, 55, sometimes 56. So, when you consider that the average rated norm is probably about 60 to 63 for somebody my age. So I'll let you know how I got on by the time we got up to Christmas. And again, the only reason why I'm telling you all this is I just want you to see how it's no easy to get to certain fitness levels, and just to let you see the effort that you've got to put in to make sure that you are fit and healthy. And again, it's all about just trying to keep yourself in the best shape you can. And again, that, what I mean, you get a certain point in life where that's what matters. You want to try and kind of increase your quality of life, really. And again, I've said it so many times, the longevity of life is a big thing that I target when I am training people. So yeah, stay tuned and I'll let you know how I get on.